we've really, moved maybe 10 years ahead suddenly when it comes to use of technology, wherein every subject can be connected to art. One model for all catering to individual needs.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Great Principles. I am Seema Choria. Our guest today has modeled her leadership style and work ethic on a strong belief in keep getting better, yet make no mistakes. She started out her career in banking, where she served for the first 7 years of her career, but it was desire and love for children that made her give up her stable career in public sector bank to take up teaching. Dr. Ripali Dhamdire is a PhD in analytical study of teaching pedagogy from the University of Tonga. She also holds two master's degree in journalism and communication from Symbiosis University, Masters of Science from the University of Sikkim, and is currently serving as principal of Trinity International School at Pune. She has been recognized and awarded with Indian Humanitarian Award 2020, the most 50 most influential principal of India in 2019, and the Best Principal Award was also awarded to her in the year 2019 for the contribution in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, amongst her host of awards and recognitions. In her words, and I quote, I strive to play an important role in the education and personal growth of children and adults by encouraging them to maximize their potential while promoting the interpersonal and communication skills essential in creating a positive and producing work environment. We are extremely proud and honored to have Dr. Rupali Dhamdire, Principal, Trinity International School, Pune. Welcome to Great Principles, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's an honor.
So, ma'am, to begin with, we would first like to know something about you and your career in education.
I started with banking, like you already mentioned. Yes, banking happened to me because of certain instances that happened, and I lost my father, and that is how I entered into banking. But banking was never my cup of tea. Even as a kid, I did not like numbers, and I never liked to be with numbers. But eventually, having numbers and staring and glaring at them all through the day was a tough task, yes. But slowly and gradually, as I moved out, and I realized that my passion lies with being with children, and that kind of rekindled the whole process. And I took the courageous decision and yes, shifted from banking to education, and I don't regret it at all.
So it's a joy that you're getting, and that's keep you going.
Yes, yes, definitely.
All right. So now moving ahead, ma'am, Trinity International School, Pune. What is the philosophy of the school and what makes it unique?
Trinity International School, Pune is very special. Why I would say I have worked with many other institutes as well, but here it is more of a family atmosphere. We see to it that we take care of each and every child like a family would do. So, and we try to tap the potential of every child, and we see to it that every child feels a part and feels connected to the school. So, it is no child left behind policy, which is very important and very dear, and we see to it that we follow this policy to the T. Again, we also believe in providing numerous platforms to our students, wherein you never know what might click to the children, and
Right.
maybe doing that activity, or through that activity they would want to get into a career today. And today also, when we are standing at a phase where now this pandemic has taught us a lot, right? And looking at it as an opportunity, again, the pandemic also, I would look at it as an opportunity, because it has taught us so many things. It has brought us to use technology so aggressively. It has brought us to view other things in a fresh perspective. It has opened up so many new avenues and adventures and opportunities for the children as well. So we try to see that every aspect is given to the child so that they can decide on amongst the thousands of careers that are available today. So even right from going to having our children enter a stand-up comedy competition,
Mhm.
where they entered the final round up to the national level. Winning, losing, yes, it is a different part of it. But school promoting children even to go for competitions like that.
Right.
Having a film festival as a regular part of the school calendar, having a film festival to give the children a feel of films. Films is just not Bollywood and films is just not song. But films is a good medium of education. So actually, getting into films and actually learning through films is something that also Trinity International believes in. So there are numerous such activities that we actually do to motivate children and keep them abreast with the world.
So as ma'am rightly said, so Trinity International School, a wonderful school with a beautiful philosophy which gives a lot of exposure to children in the future creative careers. Like, ma'am said stand-up comedy, then filmmaking, and now so there are avenues, ma'am, like YouTuber, Instagrammer, blogger. There are a whole lot, an array of different types of career options available for our children. And you rightly said it is very much important for them to be, giving them individualized attention and seeking what interests them. So this is Trinity International School all about, where no child is left behind. Going ahead, ma'am, we were just talking about the pandemic thing and how it has changed the education scenario. So what kind of changes do you perceive would be required for schools post-pandemic era?
Post-pandemic eras that now that we are all aware that we really, moved maybe 10 years ahead suddenly when it comes to use of technology. Yes, technology was there and the schools were having smart boards, projectors, this, that, everything. But still, that still that classroom and that the atmosphere that we were comfortable with, we were still continuing with that because that was a comfort zone. Now this pandemic has forced us to come out of the comfort zone. So obviously, we are wanting to explore this more, and we are looking at so many other new options and tools and things that can be used. We are using gaming also as one of the tools to use that to teach children, because again, when you're online, you have to keep the attention of the child, and to keep the attention of the child when it is offline, fine, when the child is in front of you, but online it is all the more challenging. So n number of tools and the trainings are given to the teachers to use all these tools so that they can use them on a daily basis in different manners so that the child stays attentive and actually learns. So the learning process basically becomes enjoyable. That is what is should be the end objective of the whole process.
It said, as you said, that it gave us a boom of 10 years ahead. Ma'am, there is also another way of looking at it. We all were thinking that education, there should be some change. And our children were already, when you compared with other nations, we were running 10 years behind. And this is like sort of blessing that we have started thinking and introspecting on how our education is moving further. Yeah. So on this note, ma'am, we'll move ahead, ma'am. You promote STEAM a lot. STEAM to all my viewers. That is what is STEAM. So, ma'am, how important it is in a 21st century education?
It is important because you need to connect things together. You can't have academics separate, you can't have this separate, you can't have that separate. And when it is STEAM, now the A is added to it. The A is art. And CBSE from last year, they've started with something called art integration, wherein every subject can be connected to art. So whether it was chemistry, it can be connected to art. Whether it was biology, it can be connected to art. Whether it was math, it can be connected to art, because every child is a different learner. Some children will learn math by just doing the sums. Some children may learn math maybe by drawing figures. Some children may learn math maybe by putting things together and actually doing it physically with the hand. So there are different ways in which children would learn. So connecting the art part. Now art is not just drawing. Art can be in many different forms. Okay. Like you have music, you have dance, you have so
Right.
many other things that you can express it through. So connecting every subject to a form of art, because children learn better through that. So connecting every subject to that becomes very important if the learning has to be wholesome. I think it is very nice to know that finally we are moving ahead from the score. How much is your score kind of attitude? Yes, we still have that bit left, but most of us are still trying to change our mindset, wherein the parents also, instead of just looking at numbers, are also looking at the other things what the children are good at and their capabilities, and how they can connect the two dots together. And yes, with the new NEP coming and we having a fresh perspective, I think we are moving away from the numbers a little bit, which is a very, very good thing to happen in the field of education. So STEAM, very, very important. We do a lot of STEAM activities in our school. We connect many things together. We had an environment day where we had physical, them making the teeth bombs and things like that. And also now we are going to do a youth skill day, which is on the 15th, wherein the children right from the pre-primary are going to be planning of some business idea or something. They're going to learn one skill or something or the other, and they're going to learn to display it as well. So looking at all these things and putting them together, if we do that, I think we are going to include all this, and we will have better children and better professionals. I wouldn't say better children, children are the best, but
Yes.
better professionals with a better idea of what they exactly want, and not just because engineering and medical are the two safe options. So एक या तो ये करना है या तो ये करना है, or then maximum आपको CA करना है या MBA करना है
Right.
या something like that. So there are thousands of things that are there more. And if we really need to make India stand in the competitive world outside, we need to start exploring these thousands of opportunities and train our children. So it has to start from school. It has to be STEAM integrated.
Absolutely, ma'am. You know, academic skills coupled with creativity, research, and talent, then there is, wonders are going to happen with our children. You know, they will be able to apply everything and it will boost their creative, critical thinking also. Yeah. So, ma'am, you were just talking about NEP right now. Yeah, and you rightly said that NEP with get an end to the rote learning and the obsession with marks. So, ma'am, we would like a little elaboration from you on your views of NEP.
NEP 2020, though it has come 30 years, it took 30 years plus to come. But even then, it is a welcome change in the field of education. It has a lot of fresh perspective to everything that we are doing today. Like Gandhiji had rightly said, learning is all about mind, body, and soul. But what happened to us is somewhere down the line, we forgot about the body and the soul, and we were just concentrating on the mind. But unless and until all these three elements come together, learning does not happen. So for learning to happen, and when learning happens, it takes lifelong. When we are just doing academics, no, it stays only till your exam is done. Once the
Right.
exam is over, is forgotten, it's done, finish. I got the marks. Tomorrow I don't know what I wrote in the exam, because I did rote learning. I got the marks. Yes, I may be a topper, but tomorrow maybe I've forgotten everything. So to retain that learning and to make that learning enjoyable, to make that learning lifelong, we need to have all three elements, that is mind, body, and soul connected. And the NEP is talking about connecting all these things. When they're talking about having learning through the mother tongue, so that it makes things easier. Then they're having talking about formal education, even in the pre-primary, where till date the pre-primary was just another segment. It was not a very formal kind of thing, but now pre-primary has become a very important part of the bigger schools as well. And they are called the foundation years, where it is more of a play way, then a very thought of year 3 to 5 age group, wherein the formal learning and more of concept based learning would happen. Then the middle school level, wherein they're also talking about more of skills, and 10 bagless days also. Now, what is bagless days? Bagless days is not just doing PT or anything like that. Bagless days is giving them more opportunities to explore and to learn without books. You don't just learn through books. There are so many other things that you learn through. So to explore all these things, then the CBSE or the NEP had to create these 10 bagless days so that we can give those opportunities to our children. Grade 9 to 12 coming, wherein now there are no watertight compartments as to science, commerce, humanities, or things like that. The children have the freedom to choose their subjects. Now, this is happening in the other countries from a very, very long time. High time we start with it and give our children the freedom that, okay, abhi itne marks mile to science ही करना है, itne marks mile to commerce ही करना है. तो commerce में भले मुझे accounts आए, पसंद आए नहीं आए, मुझे science में biology पसंद आता है, बाकी कुछ नहीं पसंद आता, but I have to do accounts because I've taken commerce.
Right.
So, that kind of thing we are getting rid of, and which is a very, very welcome and a fresh change that is happening. The children have the comfort to move in and out of the system, and where we are trying to look at every strata of our society and looking at children coming into education more and more. So we are not just looking at the children from the urban places, we are taking care of the children from the rural places as well, where they face difficulties, and due to certain situations, then they cannot complete certain stages. So they can leave it at a certain point. They still get certified. They can join in back when things are better and things like that. So a lot of flexibility, which is really, really good. And I'm really happy that I'm part of the field of education during these times of change, because I feel in my tiny bit, I can really, make my little contribution.
Right. So, ma'am, you've explained the NEP 2020 very beautifully. You have, in just few statements, you have brought the entire crux of this comprehensive policy. And yes, it is very thoughtfully crafted. And if implemented in the way it is intended, definitely, we will be competing with other nations, and, we might be excelling then, even then. So our children have the entire world at their foot going forward.
True.
So, ma'am, going ahead, ma'am, you have many accomplishments in your career. So, we would like to know one accomplishment you are most proud
of. One accomplishment, actually, yes, accomplishments are nice. You feel good. You feel motivated. But when you keep doing the things that you're passionate about, no, these are just coming as along as you're going ahead. So yes, though I would not say that any of these I'm not proud of, I am happy that I was graced and I was recognized. I'm really grateful and humbled with the people who have been associated with me through the journey. But for me, a greatest accomplishment is when my child comes to school. Yes, the child comes to school, and while my child is coming to school, while going home, yes, they all are happy. They have smiling faces because they're going home. But for me, the accomplishment is when my child comes to school, gets up in the morning, the first thing the child says is, yes, I'm going to school, and it is a new day for me. So when my children start thinking in that manner and they're looking forward to come to school, I think that is the greatest accomplishment that I will have, ever. So that is what I look at, that my children would long to come to school and would say that nahi, school nahi jana, nahi, school jana hai. Now children are saying because they're tired of sitting at home, obviously. But regular scenario also, when my children really get up and say that, yes, there is something exciting happening in school and I really want to go to school. So that is, I think, an accomplishment, and I would feel that I have achieved something if I have that ever.
Absolutely, ma'am. For a proud educator and passionate educator like you, there cannot be a better accomplishment than this. So this brings to me to the very interesting segment of the show, which is called Rapid Fire Round. You have to answer in one word only, ma'am.
Okay.
So
I'll try.
Yeah, please, yes.
Sometimes it's difficult to answer in one word.
All right. So see, the very first question requires 3 words. So name 3 qualities in a potential school leader that we did not find in educationists in yesteryears.
Humanity, kindness, and empathy.
All right. Next question. Name a school principal you admire the most.
My own school principal, Mrs. Mendonça, who was there when I was in St. Anne's. Yes, I do admire her a lot because the way she led the school in those times. Yes, I do.
What is the right form of education? One model for all or individualized learning?
One model for all, catering to individual needs.
Beautifully answered. One thing which is missing in today's generation.
Understanding of emotions.
All right. Does writing by hand still matter in today's digital age?
It does. It does.
Okay. What should be the ultimate goal of education?
Ultimate goal of education should be to take the stress away from education system as it is and making it learning and learning with fun. Then education will be more meaningful.
Wonderfully answered this segment. Each and every answer was answered very beautifully, though in 1 or 2 words. Ma'am has given us a lot of insights. So going ahead, ma'am, we have known you on professional front. Now, what ma'am does when she's not working? What are your hobbies and sports you're involved in, and how do they help you?
Sports, I would say I was involved in. Now I am not. Yes, as in school and college, I was a basketball player. I was a sports captain during my college days, and I was leading my basketball team and volleyball team. And yes, in those days, I was a lot into sports. But now, no sports. I do not actually. Maybe lazy, maybe short of time. Both ways mixed together. But I do not do sports. But I am really connected to sports. I encourage all kind of sports, and I see to it that my children participate in any kind of sports that come across. So yes, and when I'm not working, I spend time with my children. If you ask me, I am a mother of 600 children of my school, but I have two biological children as well. And yes, I like to spend time with my sons. And Sundays is the time when we actually get really time to sit around and just talk about anything. It can be rubbish, it can be serious, it can be hilarious, it can be their fears, their stories, whatever is there. We really like to share. We like to go shopping together, all three of us, though when we go to a mall, three of us are in different parts, but that is something that we really enjoy, and we come up to things. And so yes, I love spending time with my boys.
So this is Rupali ma'am, who when is not working, promotes sports actively. And yes, for her, the family time is a priority, for which she has dedicated one day of the week, which is Sunday. So this brings to me to the last question of this segment, which is called viewer's choice question. It goes like, as parents, educators, and policy makers, how do we ensure our children's well-being online? Pandemic has suddenly brought all of us online. So what can be done to ensure children's well-being?
So to ensure children's well-being, we need to understand their mindsets. What is happening is, today, because of the pandemic, we all are at home. And when we all are at home, we all are working from home and in our own spaces. And working at home gets us a little jittery, because you are you feel that everybody's encroaching into your space. When you're going out to work, you're still moving out of the house. But when you're in the house 24/7, you feel like you don't have that me time at all. And then that is building on, and then that frustration is coming up on each other, on the children, and the children are also restless because they can't move out and things like that. So I feel basically taking time out and giving each other that space, even if it is in the house, and taking out time for yourself first, understanding, maybe for that, maybe you have to get up a little early in the morning and be by yourself and sort your day out very calmly in your mind. I think you can understand why maybe your child or your partner or anyone was a little upset about things the other day. So if I think one person at least is kind of sorted and is calm and is understanding the schedule of the day and also understands the shortcomings of the others, it sorts the entire atmosphere in the house as well. So we need to teach our children about that. Though it is pandemic, we can't keep telling them, you keep on your devices always. We need to come out, we need to sit with them, maybe just play around with them, play fools also. I'm not saying you need to be a serious parent always. There has to be one parent who actually behave childlike with the children. It is very important to behave like children when you are with them. It is not important to be a parent 24/7. It is just not required. They just need someone to be there with them, and you don't have to be a parent 24/7. You can just be like, if you have a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, be like a 12-year-old and 13-year-old. It's okay. Doesn't matter. You don't take the pressure and the burden of being a parent. I'm the parent. It's okay. You are the parent, but you don't have to bear that crown 24/7. Keep it on the side for some time and see, you will feel lighter and you will feel better and sorted out in your head as well. So I think letting it go and taking it easy at times, breathing and letting breathe, is something that we can do funny things, do silly things. It's fine. It's totally fine.
A very practical and realistic situation solution ma'am has brought in, that yes, we all are struggling. Work at home is not easy. Work from home, not for me, of course, because it demands my attention at all the places, even for children, for household chores, and my work, definitely. So, rightly said, we need to time manage better, to manage our times better, understand our children's psychology also, and be a child. It even gives us joy sometimes. For a time, you just need to rewind and forget what you are into and live those pure feelings. Yeah.
Exactly.
So very beautifully explained by ma'am to how to handle this online stress that our children are going through. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. It was really wonderful to have you. I'm sure my viewers are going to get a lot of insights from this amazing session with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.